Phil has the pignosis. He mind and brainwashes his viewers into contributing. Make a contribution tonight. Here we go. You ready? Woo! Woo! Okay, I'm indoctrinated. Sounds good. And it's the power of cultish groupthink mentality. I'm a cult leader. I think the pignosis works.
Right now, we did not hit any goals yesterday. Okay? My goal is thus. Today, I want to hit 2 more goals, and I want to get to 10. Because number 1, I want to do the final taste tests for you guys. Remember, I said that I would do the final, the next to last, and then the last Sakura box snacks. And I said that when we hit 10 goals hit, I would also do the first snack from the new European box that showed up. So that's a bonus reward. And I want to do DSP tries it for you guys tomorrow. I can't do it today. Originally, I was hoping we would do it today, but obviously that wasn't going to happen because, obviously we didn't hit any goals yesterday. All right. But if we hit our goals today, it means tomorrow we can do DSP tries at Arby's. And that's perfect timing because my wife is working. And that way she can just come home and we could have the meal and we don't have to work, or she doesn't have to cook when she gets home. All right. Now, I'm not saying that if we hit it later in the week, it's awful or whatever. I'm just saying it would be perfect timing to hit it today. So let's do it. Please, let's get some support in and get some support moving for the stream today. I'm hoping that by the end of this podcast, we are a good chunk or good majority into raising the goal. So that way when I play Ninja Gaiden, I can just focus on the game and don't have to worry about mentioning it every few minutes. I just like to be able to focus on what I'm doing rather than have, distraction. And that way also I'll feel, better that tomorrow we're going to do the show. Everything's going to be good for the week, right? So please support if you can. All right. I appreciate everyone who does.
Contributions are mandatory, or not, excuse me. Boy, did I screw that one up. Contributions are not mandatory.
Everyone will already know everything that My Shiranui can do because all these idiots are going to fucking post it all over the internet and explain in heavy detail, here's how I analyzed it all, and here's exposing everything to the world. But again, because there's no actual execution required to play these games anymore, you're making it so any fucking mouth-drooling idiot can now play the game at a meta level because you're exposing the meta for profits.
So there we go. There we go.
So I will say this, before we even start, he listened to almost the entire argument I had, even though it was out of context from a detractor. He actually listened to the whole thing. He didn't just listen to one little out-of-context part.
Because you're exposing the meta for profits. How y'all feeling about that? For one, let me say, as a content creator going on 8 years, there's no profits. These fucking profits people talk about every now and then, they're imaginary. No, I'm not saying you can't make some, because definitely there's big names in the community overall. Overall, with the years they put into it, there's Twitch, if I could talk, their Twitch streams, their contracts, if they're signed, they're sponsored, numerous sponsors, then okay, they're pulling in something, right? But not just off this one concept that I'm making a combo video. But I will.
If you are exposing the meta of a competitive thing, whether it's a sport, whether it's a game, whatever it is, if it's something competitive and you're exposing the meta of that to the world, you should do it for a reason. And the reason should obviously be a good one. And if you're telling me that it's not for profit, then what the fuck are you doing it for? Because you understand that when you expose the meta of something competitive to the world, you have actually destroyed the competitive nature of what it is.
I don't want to sit here and play top tiers all day. I don't like playing top tiers in this game online. I think it's more fun to play with mid to low tiers and just mess around and have fun.
Now, the other half of this equation that he just said, well, there's no money to be had here at all. There's no money. Then why are these people doing it? No, really, I have to ask this question. Why would you completely spoil the competitive nature of fighting games unless you're benefiting from it? You have lost me now. So you're actually putting all of the important tournament competitive meta knowledge of a game on the internet for anyone to copy right away, and you're not getting anything out of it? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. No, really. That's legitimately one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life.
My content is free.
Why would you do it then? Then don't do it. Keep the knowledge for yourself, enter tournaments, and profit. Prosper for a bit. I don't get it. I really don't. Again, it's a competitive community. It was always supposed to be. It's the idea of a competitive game, is to have a competitive edge. You've literally destroyed your competitive edge day one because you told everyone about the knowledge of the game. And if you're not getting money for it, then why are you doing it? You're losing me here. Yeah. There's got to be a level of logic here somewhere, and I'm looking for it, and I'm not seeing it. All I'm seeing is everyone wants to be hype on the internet and meme about these characters and shit. Big deal. But then when you go to play the game's ruined within a week. It's so boring.
I'll be honest, the older I get, the dumber I'm probably getting.
As far as though overall the attitude of, man, y'all are robbing us by exposing the meta because mine just dropped and now day 2 and week 1, y'all done put everything out there. So now everybody plays the same, does the same thing because y'all done ruined it. Isn't that the point? Like, because when a character drops, the first thing, like anybody FGC, they're looking at the notes, right? They're looking at, okay, what's plus, what's minus, what can I do? The people that are really into it and the casuals don't really look at that shit, but they're just gonna play. And more so what the casuals are gonna do, instead of reading all that scientific shit, they're gonna look at videos because they want to learn. And yeah, you can say, oh, it's easy, it's brain dead, you don't really need that if you're using modern controls and yada yada, but you're still gonna look at videos to see what they can do. And then usually what people do is try to put their own spice on it.
But there's a difference between watching a video of, say, gameplay. Like, let's say, for example, it's day 1 and all of a sudden there's a bunch of videos of top players using Mai Shiranui. On day 1, if you watch those videos, right, you're going to see this character, or excuse me, this player use the character in a certain way, this character use the character in a different way. That's the best time. What I'm saying is, not just watching raw gameplay, because that's existed since the beginning of time when you're talking about arcade gameplay. What are you going to do, block the screen when people are playing competitive matches? Of course not. People are watching the high-level competitive matches and learning by just watching the matchups. So that always existed, okay? What I'm saying is that people who literally sit there in the lab, breaking down the character, testing frame by frame, every single thing about the character, exposing the best strategy, the best mix-up, the best combo, the best this, the best that, and then saying, this is what you do, go lab this. Those videos exist, and they are very popular.
They are. I've seen them within days of a character coming out. They are. I've seen them within days of a character coming out. They are. I've seen them within days of a character coming out. Unbelievable.
Here is the early guide for my optimal damage, optimal situational stuff, optimal this. Why are you putting that out there? Make people earn it. Make people play for themselves.
And we would literally have to ask a kid we've never seen before, how did you do that? Show me how'd you do that, and I'll be damned if a lot of these sons of bitches wouldn't show you.
Of course, because that's called competitive nature in a competitive game. Why would you tell someone how to do the thing that wins? That's the point. That's the point of a competitive game. Figure it out for yourself. That's what you do in a fighting game.
Because they didn't want you to know, they would hide the tech and keep the tech as much as they could. And it was so, but the way that they would cock block in the game was ridiculous. But when you met somebody who was cool and they would show you how to do certain things. I remember the first time I learned how to do it.
I'm going to be honest with you. No one taught me shit. I learned everything for myself by watching other players or practicing myself. I didn't learn a single technique by someone telling me this is how you do it. Not one. It's winnable. It's doable. But you have to have skill. You actually have to have intelligence, not just time. You actually have to have some level of like intelligent thought to actually think about how the game works and how this might work and experiment with it and then try that and then do this and then you figure it out. Not, oh, there was a nice guy who told me how to do it. I met 0 nice guys at arcades who taught me techniques to win a tournament ever.
Standing blade kick with God was Street Fighter 2 about my damn life changed. Anyway, when you met somebody that showed you the meta, damn, it just took everything to a whole new level. And yes, that was exciting. But you know what would have been even more exciting? If we would have had more meta. You know what I'm saying? If we would have had like magazines and online searches or whatever that could show this and really make us like dive in deep to unlock true potential.
No, because that's not competitive. That would not have been better. Again, why did Marvel 2, why did Third Strike, why did Super Turbo to this day, why are these games still prominent? Why did they last a decade holding down the competitive community when there were no new Capcom fighting games? Because the meta wasn't fucking destroyed. People kept experiencing new things in the meta the more they played. Eventually things staled up. Like I would say probably 6 years into Marvel 2, finally almost everything had been discovered. And now you're like, okay, we're kind of burnt out on it, right? But at least you got a long time out of it. Instead of just rushing everything to the internet. I don't want everything on the internet for a competitive game. That doesn't make sense because then there's no fun.
Yeah, try me, vivid. I need journalism difficulty.
The problem with modern games is that people are learning the game.
The problem is that people are learning the game at too accelerated of a rate that they didn't earn, and it ruins the game too quickly and makes it boring way too fast. That's what I said, not that abbreviated version.
And then wasn't he watching tech videos to beat other players?
Yes, I love it.
No, I was watching matchup videos as if I were attending a tournament in person, which is what I used to do back in the day. I was watching matchup videos to learn how to use strategies and stuff. That's very different than studying the top tier meta tech video.
Hypocrite. He wants to gatekeep new people from improving so he can forever feed his ego.
I don't have an ego.
Oh!
I'm never going to go to a tournament and try to win. I'm never going to say, oh, I'm the best at a modern fighting game. I'm not a moron, okay? I don't invest the amount of time and effort to ever be good at a modern fighting game. There's no ego here. It's a fact that modern fighting games are being ruined far too quickly, and people don't want to listen to me just because I'm a meme on the internet that everyone loves to hate. You're a moron if you believe that. It's your own fault if you want to live in ignorance. Don't listen to people who know better than you just because people like to make fun of them. Sounds like you're the moron here, not me. I know what I'm talking about.
I am a former professional fighting game player in the capacity, not that I did it for a living. I was a high-level tournament player, 4th place at EVO, top player of Street Fighter 2 that year overall in the country. And then after that, years I had won, qualifiers, various qualifiers for EVO, and, done pretty good in tournaments overall in Street Fighter 2 over the years.
Really shows the type of person he was back in the day. Can only win when people don't know better. Can't hold his own against people in the same knowledge.
Except that I'd regularly beat top players who had way more experience and knowledge than me back in the day. Nice try. I was known as the upstart up-and-comer, who basically was the runt who was beating the top tier players, and that's why a lot of people didn't like me.
But it's saying that, like,
Also because I had a really fucking big mouth and I talked a lot of shit, and I regret that now.
I said, I see how people are going to look at it, but this is probably the most I can give him in that argument. He says, nowadays everybody plays the same and there's no uniqueness to it. I've seen people say that. I have seen a lot of people, even pros, say that with Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 6. They're like, there's no, you can't look at a character without seeing a name and tell who's playing it, because it looks like a lot of people play the character exactly the same way, as opposed to like Street Fighter 4.
Wow.
And by the way, if anyone else in the FGC ever wants to talk intelligently to me about this stuff, I'm available. I'm a wealth of knowledge from back in the day. I'm one of the few people who back then am still an active content creator today. I'm accessible. It's just that everyone wants to meme negatively about me constantly rather than listen to what I have to say, which actually has knowledge and experience behind it. So if anyone's interested, you can always reach out. You can DM me on X. You can send me an email at darksydephil@hotmail.com, and we can have a chat and see if anything ever gets started of intelligence rather than just a bunch of mouth droolers in the comments like he had in his video there. Okay.
Well, I can't wait to hear how tomorrow the entire FGC will be up in arms against DSP, and we're going to have every top player on the planet making videos about me and crapping on me. It'll be hilarious. Really, it will. In fact, I hope you do that. I really hope you do. I hope all you come out of the woodwork to crap on DSP once again, just so in 5 years' time you can all come out and agree with me, just like you always do. I'm an influencer, right? As much as I hate that term, I know I am an influencer. I've been around for 12 years. Almost everyone who does content creation on the internet knows who I am. Whether it's for good or bad reasons, they know who I am. I am a person with notoriety, all right? But I'm not a special priority influencer.
All right, we still haven't had anyone on Kick do anything, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'm starting to get upset. But I did receive a $2 tip, again from Flatman B. Says, I'm broke. When I'm at the bar, I tip, I support what I like. Let's get the party started, guys. Well, thank you, Flatman. I say this to everyone. Please do not give what is in excess to your means, all right? I'm not asking for that from anyone whatsoever. You know, what I'm asking for is for people who are enjoying the content genuinely to contribute, and also for all those no-load freeloaders over on Kick to start gifting subs right now. That's what I'm asking for.
Yeah, the problem then is, I don't do this for free.
Last chance to contribute and hit the goal. We can do it. It's within reaching grasp, but I don't know if we're going to do it. Basically, if no one on Kick contributes by the end of the stream, I'm going to call this from now on the Ninja Gaiden stream of embarrassment for Kick, because that's been absolutely pathetic. That the YouTube viewers were supporting a lot today, and that Kick couldn't do anything. So I'm gonna completely deride them forever. Unless they have to recover.
Give me your monies. Again and again and again. Keep giving me the monies.
Herein lies the problem with what just happened. since once again we didn't hit the goal, all right? Since once again we didn't hit the goal, that means that tonight is Smart Guys. If you guys aren't aware, I'm not doing gameplay tonight. The late stream is our Smart Guys commentary show. You know, PPP and I split that show, you know, 50-50. We don't make $600 today, all right? That means that tomorrow, probably not doing Arby's, and that's gonna screw everything up, okay? Because, quite frankly, if we don't do it tomorrow, DSP tries it, then it kind of feels like a waste because my wife already had things that she was gonna cook for the rest of the week. She's not working Thursday, Friday this week. So, I would say if you are going to support, please mount your support for tonight for Smart Guys, all right? We actually didn't have a meal planned for all 3 days. I guess I erroneously assumed we were going to hit the goals enough to do the DSP Tries It by Wednesday. And now here we are, and we haven't done it. So.
I love that people try to say, oh, it's a different situation now. It's the same. It's the same thing. It happens over and over. Yes, there's variations of things that tweak and change a little bit differently for, you know, every once in a while to make it a little different. But in general, it's the same exact pattern over and over and over that happens. It never changes. Okay? There's still this back here. And it's still in the back of my neck, the back of my head, the back of my mind, and it's always telling me it's WWE Champions time. I love it. I love it. Is a mobile game addict. Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. That I just can't help it. I eBay. Contributions are mandatory, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you. No decency, no respect, no common sense, no fucking maturity. Is the guy who just doesn't get reality.